Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna have a video here. I'm actually doing this on the fly. I was thinking like, what should I make? And so this popped in my head of using the DIY Detail Rinseless Wash in combination with the Waterless Wash. So this video is more in tune for the enthusiast, not so much for the professional. So we're gonna make this video just for the enthusiast here on how to get the best performance from both products and using them in combination with each other. Kind of tips and tricks of like how we would use these together. So that's what we're going to get into today, and I figured this would be a good video for this. So again, I'm just doing this on the fly here, and I know I've been doing a lot of rinseless wash videos lately, but it's a popular wash method. I tend to do rinseless washes like 90% of the time here, especially if you wash like every week. You can get by with a rinseless wash as your primary wash process, or even a waterless wash process. So the difference between the two here is a rinseless wash. I need a water, some sort of water, for example, in a bucket, so that I can dilute the product into the bucket there. So I need water to use with this in order to mix it up. Waterless washing, I don't need water because this product is designed to have the ability to safely encapsulate the dirt, emulsify the dirt, and make it a clean process without marring the surface. So I'm not using water because this product is my source of lubrication in this instance. So I'm not diluting this, I'm using it straight out of the bottle. So the caveat to this is you're going to be using more towels with the waterless wash. So because I'm not using a sponge or maybe a microfiber or two in the bucket, so I'm relying on multiple towels to use this. I'm going to have a laundry of towels in comparison to using a rinseless wash. Again, there's multiple ways to use a rinseless wash here. So that's kind of like the differences between the two. So DIY Detail Rinseless Wash has been out for, I think, a little over a year maybe. I think I made a video like a year ago roughly. So the dilutions here are 1 ounce per 2 gallons, or your typical 1 to 256, or 256 to 1, however you want to say it. If you want to foam it, you add 4 to 5 ounces in your foam cannon. When I did the first video, I had to go back and look at it. I used 3 ounces in a foaming pump sprayer, which I'm going to use today as well, and I was able to get some pretty good foam out of it. Now, DIY Detail Rinseless Wash, it's a hybrid rinseless wash. I don't want to complicate it too much because there is polymers in here, but its primary backbone is a surfactant. So this is more of a surfactant based rinseless wash. So if I shake it, you can see it foam pretty well in the bottle, hence why I can get it to foam in a foaming pump sprayer. Now, well, the waterless wash is a ceramic infused waterless wash, and this one's ready to use. So pretty straightforward stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up the foaming pump sprayer. I'm going to add 3 ounces, which is what, 90 milliliters of product. So I'm just going to shake this up, which I think that's what I have in here, and so that's why I have another bottle here ready to go, because I wanted to kind of just use this up. And I've actually made a little excess because I'm going to save that in here. So we'll see how much I have here, because I think I had enough for, yeah, perfect. So that's, I could have just poured the whole bottle here. So that's going to be in my foaming pump sprayer. This is going to be my foaming pre-soak. I'm just going to pour the rest out in here. There wasn't that much in there, so you can see how, because I shook it in there, I did get some suds in there. So I had like 10 milliliters of product in there. And in my bucket, I'm going to add 45 milliliters of product in here because I have 3 gallons in my bucket. Man, this thing still smells good. So I'm going to take this over there. We're going to go ahead and put this on here. So I'm going to show you multiple ways on how to do this method here. And again, this video is more in tune for the enthusiast, more so than the professional. Like, this is things I would do if I had both of these products. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this in here. Put that in there. Put this in here for a minute. Okay, so one of the first things you want to do is, because I'm also going to be using it as a regular pre-soak, is just, you know, the easiest way is just go ahead and dunk your spray bottle in here. Pour some out, because you do want to have the ability to have air build up in here, because we're going to use a pump sprayer. Okay, so we got that one pumped up, and we have this one pumped up. And next I'm going to show you on a few panels on how to do this. If you have the IKs with the compressor, the valve stem, just get that. I'll be picking up some IKs to test them out in comparison to this. Now, if you want for your rinseless wash, this thing's pretty heavy. Again, I like using the sponges, so I'm going to add 2 sponges in here. And we're going to grab this. Okay, so the first one is, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to do the doors here, because it's easy to showcase. As I would do, a foaming pre-soak. I didn't pump it up enough. I'll do a foaming pre-soak, and I will let this kind of do its thing for just a few seconds. You don't need to let it dwell for a long time here. Now, the reason I brought the gold sponge is because you can actually, I can show dirt more efficiently on the surface. And the dirtiest parts of the car are, of course, on the bottom. And you can see my sponge is not heavily dirty, because I don't have a lot of dirt. And if the car was dirty, what I would do is I just take the sponge, flip it around, and then go over it again, and I've picked up any dirt that may have been left over. And so when I dunk it and scrub it against the grit guard on the bottom, and I wring it out, my sponge is clean. That's why I show the gold sponge on camera. Now at this point, I could just dry it off, but there's no fun in that, right? So we're gonna take the waterless wash. So I guess let me just take a step back. So I could dry it at this point, like I'm doing here, right? I could dry it off and be done. Just move on. The thing is, if you have foam in these little areas here, it is gonna dry, so don't worry about it. And you know, the DIY Detail has some good lubricity, but again, what's the fun in that when I can come back and just add a few spritzes of the waterless wash. So now I'm using a drying aid, again, which is completely optional with a rinseless wash. I forgot how good that smells. Let's go over the glass with the rinse, with the okay. And normally I tend to come back with a secondary towel just to make sure that I don't have any high spots. And what I've done here is I've washed and protected the surface. So I want to showcase that. Let me move over to this side. And option number 2 is similar to the first one, but we're not using a foaming pump sprayer. So we will just take the rinseless wash. Let me just get this mirror while I'm at it. And pre-soak the surface. And so you've already seen the car's not super dirty, so I'm going to use the ultra black sponge. Again, I've been playing around with my rinseless wash technique to add a couple different sponges in there. And the same thing, I'll just go over the surface. Like so. Now if I was in the garage, I'd probably go ahead and pre-soak with this method, not the foaming one, the entire vehicle in the garage. Okay. And again, I could dry it off like I did before. But again, what's the fun in that, right? So I'm going to take the waterless wash. Now the reason I'm using waterless wash is because say I missed a spot that may have had dirt or something on it, then I could just use this to break it down. Or you can use a detail spray, but again, I'm using the combination of DIY products to show how good they work together. Again, synergistic compatibility. And so I'm adding protection. Now one thing, if you're working panel by panel, is you're probably going to get overspray on the other side of your panel. Okay, so we take that and then pop that towel back in, and then just come back. Like so, just as a final wipe off to make sure I have no excess residue on there. And again, I've washed and protected the vehicle in 2 steps. Now this one, over to this front fender, this is going to be your most costly of the 2 options. I would take the waterless wash, and I would let this start breaking down the surface. Now that's going to, again, it's going to be more costly because I'm using more product with this as my pre-soak. So I'll let that set up for just a couple minutes, kind of just taking a look here. Car's not super dirty, so it's hard to capture stuff on there. And then what I would do is I would take my sponge and just go over that surface like I did just there. If it was super dirty, I just flip it around and go over one more time. Again, there wasn't that much dirt on there. And same thing. It's drying the surface. And I've done the same thing that I did on those other 2 panels, where I followed up with the waterless wash, where I'm protecting the surface at the same time as I'm cleaning the surface. So again, I'm using the waterless wash as a drying aid, so to speak. And then another feature I would use the waterless wash, I would just pop open the doors and I would spray down the door jambs with this. I would pop open the hood and use this to spray down the engine bay there, kind of lightly wipe it up. So anywhere I had that, I would just go ahead and use the waterless wash to clean up the door jamb areas and underneath the hood. So that's pretty much it. I just want to give you guys a quick little rundown on how I would use the rinseless wash and the waterless wash in combination with each other. Again, this is mostly for the enthusiast. For a professional, you may not use this method because I know, time is money, so you're probably just going to go ahead and do the second method. Actually, the third method. What method are we at? Fourth method, where you just use your regular pre-soak here with the DIY Detail Rinseless Wash. Wash it with a sponge and then just mop it up with your towel just to dry up any surface. So again, that's the 1-2 combination of the DIY Detail Rinseless Wash and the waterless wash. And again, thanks for watching. So comments, questions, go ahead and post down below. Again, thanks for watching. Take care. All right, welcome back everyone. So I wanted to give another outro here. I was doing some thinking here. I was putting my stuff away and I was like, you know what, I forgot to address one last question. Why not use a product that is dedicated to leak protection behind? For example, new Hydro Save, I just grabbed this because it's brand new and people are familiar with it already, which this is going to leak protection behind. Some people don't like having a product that is doing it for them. For example, this is wash and coat type products. People don't like that. Some people don't like to interfere with the protection that's on their current vehicle. They don't like to mask it and that type of thing. And so that's why somebody may not reach for this type of rinseless wash here, like a wash and coat. And so they may just stick with DIY Detail, and then they're in control with whatever type of protection they're putting on that surface, whether, insert your favorite drying aid of choice there. The reason I just chose this is because, again, I'm in control of the protection. Plus I wanted to showcase that these two products do work together. Again, synergistic compatibility between the two here. You could use ceramic gloss in the lineup here. Again, choose your favorite drying aid of choice in this instance here. So I kind of wanted to just showcase that, and I wanted to address one last thing before I wrap up this video here. Again, I was making this video on the fly, trying to figure out what to do with this video, and so again, I just made it on the fly, and I think hopefully it turned out pretty well. So again, thanks for watching. If you guys have any comments or questions on this, again, this is more lined up for the enthusiast rather than the professional. But again, thanks for watching. Catch the next one. Take care, everyone.